Charlotte is in Lexington, Kentucky. Hey, Charlotte, how are you?
Hello, how are you?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
My question is, how do you start the emergency fund when you're behind on multiple bills each month?
You don't. Sounds like you got a mess, kiddo. What's going on?
Yeah, I do. I'm 36, single, 2 kids. I've been working 2 jobs for almost 5 years now, and I just cannot get caught up to stay current on all my bills, let alone start an emergency fund.
I hear you. So what do you make?
What I bring home each month between both jobs is $3,200. My debt, if I make the minimum payments each month, is $1,900. So that leaves me about $1,200.
How much is your rent?
So I have a mortgage, and it's $560 a month.
Okay, that's good news. And are you getting child support?
Yes, but not consistent enough to rely on.
Why?
He just chooses to pay it when it's convenient to him.
Well, the courts in Kentucky will help him with his discipline. You know that.
Right, and they've actually sent something to garnish wages here recently. So.
Good. Okay. That doesn't fix the problem, but it just fixes my aggravation at him, and I'm just joining you in that. How old are your babies?
15 and 11, or 12, 15 and 12.
Lord, so they eat a lot.
Yes, especially during the summer.
Yeah, so what kind of debts have you got?
Car payment.
How much do you owe on the car?
$16,000.
Okay. And what else?
Student loans are about $16,000 when you add them all up. I've lived life and went on a cruise in April, and so I'm paying on that.
How much do you owe on the cruise?
$1,600.
Okay. All right. What else?
I've got 2 like a firm loans. One's for a mattress and one's for tires.
And how much are those? How much are those?
My tire. My tires are about $700, and then the mattress I owe like $200 on.
Okay. All right.
And then I've got braces that I owe about $3,200 on. And then medical bills that I probably owe about $6,000 if I add them all up.
How long have you been single, you said?
It's about 10 years.
Okay. All right.
What do you do for your jobs, Charlotte?
I am a quality manager, and I've actually at Conduit, and I've been there 18 years, and then I'm a server at Cracker Barrel, and I've been there almost 5 years.
Okay.
All right. Let me give you a couple of observations. I've been doing this a long time, so I've sat with people in your situation a lot. Okay. You've been living on nothing, right on the edge, scared for a long time. And that has caused you to give yourself permission to do some stupid things that have made it worse. Okay?
Yes.
Like a $16,000 car you can't afford because the other old car was breaking down all the time and you couldn't handle that extra fear added with all the fear you already had. So you said, I'm going to get at least one thing in my life that is reliable because this guy paying child support certainly isn't.
That's 100% true. Just in October that happened.
Yeah. And then you got, I'm not going to get out anyway. I might as well live my life, so I'm going on the cruise. Oh, and then the dadgum tires go out, so we got to have tires because you can't roll this $16,000 car without a tire. Right? And
Exactly.
so what happens is we end up going from crisis to crisis because we're trapped. And so we got to get out of this, but it's going to be radical. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
We're going to go with you.
What I'm doing's not working.
Yeah, hold my hand. We're going to jump off the
That
cliff.
wasn't an evil laugh from him.
No,
it was
that
an
was
excited laugh.
That was a hold my hand. We're going to jump off the cliff together. Here we go. And the water's cold and it's deep, so we're okay. Get ready to jump. Here we go. It's going to be different. Here we go. Run back. Here we go. That's what I'm laughing about, okay? I will go with you. We're going to help you, and I'm going to put people around you. I'm going to give you a financial coach free of charge. I'm going to pay for it because I can't stand how trapped you are. It's driving me crazy, okay? And then I'm going to pile a bunch of books on you that I need you to read, all of them, and turn your stupid television off, okay?
Okay.
One of them is on career, From Paycheck to Purpose. I'm going to give you two of them, from Ken Coleman. And I want you to go to Ken. He's our career expert. Because you don't make nothing. And I want you to go get a job making twice what you're making now. You're worth a whole lot more than you're getting paid. Okay?
Well, I tried to tell my boss that.
Well, he ain't listening. You've been there a long time. And so it's time to start looking, and it's time to retool, reset your mind, comb your hair out, and get ready to go on an interview, girl. Here we go. All right?
Okay.
Because you need to go make some more money. You've been starving a long time. And so I'm going to send you a bunch of career books, and Ken Coleman is our career guy. I'm going to send you one on proximity principle, one's From Paycheck to Purpose. Read them both, okay? We're going to put you into Financial Peace University, which is our 9-week class, and take your 15-year-old with you. It's 9 lessons. You can either do it online or you can do it at local church, either one. We're going to pay for all this. It doesn't cost you a dime. I just want you to go do it all because my heart's hurting for you, okay?
Okay.
I get where you are. I know exactly where you are and how tired you are. And you got a new friend that's going to help you, and Rachel and me, okay? And
thank you.
We're probably going to sell your car because you can't afford this car. This car payment is what's drowning you. You got a great mortgage. Your mortgage is awesome. Your car payment's horrible. It's probably killing you. And then you ain't doing any more stupid stuff like cruises. And you're not eating out. You're not going to reward you. You're going to clean up this dadgum mess, and you're going to work your butt off like never before. And it's going to be for a short period of time, and this time we're actually going to get some traction and move the needle instead of spinning our wheels all the time, because you've been spinning your wheels for a decade. So
got this, Charlotte.
You hang on. We're going to get you with a coach. We're going to get you the books. We're going to get you into FPU, and you're going to call us back if you need some help. Hang on. We've spent way too much time in the last 2 decades in America talking about our feelings. We ought to deal with some facts and then let your feelings decide from there how you feel about the facts. But let's start with facts, because that changes everything. That leads me to something I want to talk to you about. You've got your finger on the pulse of this whole freaking job market that is the weirdest job market I have ever seen in 50 years.
Oh, yeah.
I've been working 50 years.
Oh, yeah.
Started cutting grass when I was 12. I'm 62. Okay. So, but I mean, I've been in the workplace 40 years, right? And I've owned a business a lot of that time of one kind or another. And I've never seen a job market. This is the weirdest dadgum job market. On the one hand, we've got these immoral corporate dubers laying people off just to run their profits up, or because they're scared of what might happen next year. And in anticipation of that, they do 10,000 people, put them on the street, right? There's that. There's people leaving their jobs to go take higher pay or work from home, only to find out that they're the first ones laid off, or that they've entered into a toxic culture of some kind or another that's a dadgum mess. And so for $10,000 or $20,000 or $30,000 or $40,000 more a year, that they went and took a job and now they regret it. So there's the great resignation followed by the great regret. You got those people. You got the other people being laid off. And at the same time, we've still got a labor shortage.
Yes.
It's the most convoluted, screwed up thing I've ever seen.
Well, you got a fact that you saw the pandemic create 4 million new jobs, okay? And then when the pandemic was over, 4 million people that had left or maybe were laid off or retired during that time didn't come back. So that's created disparity. Plus, you've got 7 million men that are between the age of 25 and 55 who are able to work and are choosing not to work. They are living off of someone, whether that be government benefits,
And one
or
piece of
friends and
research that we
family.
were talking about the other day said they spend 2,000 hours a year on a screen
which means they're getting
playing
dope.
Call of Duty, and they
That's
don't know
right.
what duty is.
That's right. They're medicating themselves with the dopamine from screens and entertainment in all of its various forms. And instead of getting out there and getting the contribution and the dopamine that comes from, hey, I did something that mattered today. So
we
that
have,
is
we
also
have a work ethic crisis. We have a shortage of labor.
workers. That's right.
We have a values crisis with corporate America dumping people on the street. We have people jumping ship from the, out of the frying pan into the fire.
That's right.
They leave what they thought was a bad job to get a much better pay, but at a horrible place who treats them like crap. Yep. So I can work from home part-time and get paid for full-time, because everybody that works from home does not work 8 hours. Let me just tell you, okay? You sit on your butt. We know what you're doing. Or you're working 2 of these full-time jobs, which is straight up unethical.
That's professional polygamy, Dave. I coined that term the other day. Professional polygamy.
Working 2 full-time jobs and calling it work from home.
Yeah, you're cheating on both of them.
Professional polygamy.
You got quiet quitting. I decided to come up with my own term, but it's a real thing. You're lying to both companies.
It's career infidelity.
That's it. It is.
Oh my God.
I know.
Okay.
No, but so here's what's interesting. And I want to give an economic and a money play on this. All of that we just laid out.
So in the middle of that, a person that will work hard and has character, in the middle of all that discombobulation, there's opportunity, big time.
Oh, sure. Of course there is. Well, but see, now here's what's interesting. But you got to be careful not to just take the paycheck opportunity.
It's not just a paycheck. I'm saying you could go find a great company at above average pay.
Oh, yeah. And move up.
And have a great career opportunity without working for some bunch of doobers.
That's right.
But people don't make the decision exclusively on the pay change.
No.
You've got to look at the quality of the leadership team, the situation.
Yeah. So it's the right role.
Because the data is telling us if you're working from home or if you're the last one hired, you're going to be the first ones laid off.
It's absolutely true. That is data-based.
So you are vulnerable if you took a job doing that for more. So you left a regular job in the office, 40 hours making, and you make $35,000 a year more than you used to make, but you're working from home, your head's the first one on the block.
And here's another factor. Remote workers may be the first to go as they ship jobs overseas. They could pay you from home. They could pay somebody from another country from home.
Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
Hi. I just needed to get some advice. I did the ultimate no-no. I bought a house with somebody I wasn't married to. After about a year of having the house, I needed to move out due to some circumstances when we broke up. And now the house is going to go into foreclosure, and I'm just trying to figure out what are my options here, what to do. I've also accumulated about $25,000 in debt due to these circumstances, and trying to figure out how I can get out of this.
$25,000 in debt to who?
Credit cards, loans.
Personal loans?
Well, it wasn't I guess you can call it a personal loan. It was a water softener bill for the house.
That's the circumstances?
That's one of the loans that's part of my debt now.
Well, what happened? Are you on the mortgage?
Yes, I'm on the mortgage. We're both on the mortgage.
And you're both on the deed?
And we're both on the deed. He's still in the house. I moved out.
You moved out and he decided to stop paying?
Yes.
But you've been paying?
Well, yeah, we were paying before. When I moved out, he was paying, and then now he decided to stop paying.
And it's already in foreclosure, or it is in the process of getting there?
It's in the process of getting there. We're 4 months behind. We have been trying to sell the home, but have been unsuccessful with that.
Unsuccessful in that no one's even looking at it, or you've had showings and they're giving you feedback that you can process?
We had showings, but no real interest in the house. And it's a brand new house.
Are you working with a real estate pro?
Yes.
And what is their logic for why nothing's moving here? Is it priced too high?
It was. They feel like it was priced too high, but because there was a new community being built in the area, that was kind of affecting us as well because they were able to bring their prices down, give lower interest rates, and that sort of thing.
Have you lowered your price?
Yes, as far as we can go. We're now in the process of asking the mortgage company for a short sale to see if that's even possible.
Do they know that you have the place listed and you're trying to sell it before the foreclosure goes through?
They do. Yes, they do know.
Okay. I mean, that's going to be your best bet is just trying to sell this thing ASAP, even if you have to lower the price instead of going through a short sale or worst case, that foreclosure.
But even if we lower the price, the bank has to approve us going below what we owe on the house.
Because what do you guys owe on the mortgage?
$465.
And when you moved out, he obviously could not pay that mortgage on his own. Was that the case?
I'm assuming no. Yes, I don't know. He paid it for 6 months, so.
Okay, he was floating it and then could no longer float it. What's the communication like with your ex right now?
Hey, George here in the control booth, and I bet you're wondering what they're going to say next. Get out of debt, sell the horse, yada, yada, yada. The advice may be predictable, but the internet is anything but. You see, your personal info is out there, up for grabs by shady companies ready to add more scam and spam to your life. And that's why I use Delete Me. Delete Me will scrub your data from all of these sites so that you can focus on The Ramsey Show instead of who's buying and selling your info. And Ramsey fans get 20% off at joindeleteme.com/Ramsey or by using the link in the description below. So go take control of your privacy as soon as this call is over.
What's the communication like with your ex right now?
We don't communicate unless it has something to do with the home.
Oh, my goodness.
All right, and just one more clarification question. You've been paying your half of it? Is that how you guys have been doing this, splitting the payments, and you've been making your payment?
No, I don't pay anything towards the mortgage. I moved out. I had to find another place to stay, so I'm paying where I have to live.
Okay, but your name is on the. Okay, you understand why I asked that?
Because you have a legal obligation.
You are legally obliged to pay that, whether you've moved out or not. So, wow.
I don't see a way out of this.
I don't
unless
either.
you guys can find a way to sell it before it forecloses.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that you can or want to float the payments to help get out of this, or have the ability to.
No, I don't have the ability to.
What are you making right now? What's your income?
About $112.
And where's all that money going? That's a good income.
To my expenses.
What's your rent?
$2,400.
Okay. And what else? Because you're bringing home probably, what, $8,000?
No, probably about 6.
Okay.
I mean, well, after tax. I guess you're saying after taxes. After taxes, about 6.
Okay. Are you doing any investing right now?
Yes. I mean, I invest in, my 401k and stuff like that.
Yeah, we need to pause all of that. You need to act like everything is on fire, and you need to work on getting out of this house mess and paying off your debt. So we're not saving, right? Do you have any savings?
Yeah, I have some in savings.
How much?
I have about 4 in savings.
4,000. And what's owed to get current on the mortgage?
About 12,000.
Okay, and he doesn't have anything saved?
I would assume not. I can't say for sure.
I would do some homework and find out where you're at in the foreclosure process and find out how much time you have to at least try to get current on payments so that you can get out of the foreclosure process and have time to then sell.
Okay.
And that might mean you both put some skin in the game and go, all right, I'm going to put in $3,000 a month and we're going to get caught up on these payments. Mm-hmm. Which means you need to get rid of all of the expenses in your life. Anything that isn't food, utility, shelter, transportation must go right now, including investing.
Okay. Well, do you, I have these credit cards that have like high interest rates. Do you suggest taking a loan from the 401k?
No.
And paying it off?
No more debt. If it has the word loan in it, if it has the word consolidation or relief or settlement, run far away. Your income is the solution here.
Which means you need more income. You may need to get a second job, a third job for a short amount of time. You got to get these house payments current so that, again, to to George's point, you have time to sell this house. You don't want to go through foreclosure.
You don't want to go through foreclosure. You don't want to go through foreclosure. You don't want to go through foreclosure. You don't want to go through foreclosure. You don't want to go through foreclosure. You don't want to go through foreclosure. You don't want to go through foreclosure. You don't want to go through foreclosure. You don't want to go through foreclosure. You don't want to go through foreclosure. You don't want to go through foreclosure. You don't want to go through foreclosure. You don't want to go through foreclosure. You don't want to go through foreclosure. You don't want to go through foreclosure. You don't want to go through foreclosure. You don't want to go through foreclosure. You don't want to go through foreclosure. You don't want to go through foreclosure. You don't want to go through foreclosure. You don't want to go through foreclosure. You don't want to go through foreclosure. You don't want to go through foreclosure. You Can he
Yeah,
get a temporary
that's
roommate,
the
a friend of his, to live in the house too and pay rent to help get above water?
That's what I don't know. That's what I mean. Like I said, we don't have communication. I would suggest that's what he do.
You're going to need to start communicating. You guys entered quite the partnership here to then just flee the coop.
I get that you guys don't love each other and you don't like each other, but you need each other right now, and that really is awful. I get it, but you guys have got to partner up on this thing to get out of this deal.
You're on the hook for $465,000.
Yeah, I know.
And this could wreck your financial life.
This
if you go
is where
through this
I wish we
foreclosure.
could get him on the phone. I think Ramsey Show needs to go to the next level and get this dude on the phone, and we mediate this deal. The two of
my
them.
Goodness.
That would be
could be a new
that's
show.
the show that people need to see. I'm telling you, we could help. You guys need to be adults and sit down and figure this out. There's no more blame.
I agree.
There's no more blame here. There's no more you did this, you said this. This is, we're idiots because we did this, and we've got to figure this out. And then we learn and we lick our wounds and we move on from each other. But this is going to make this breakup 10x worse. Am I right, George?
Yeah.
Play this out.
Well, there's just you're kind of stuck right now until you guys figure out the next move. And there's sort of the ABC. The best option is to sell it for the most you can get for it, and then you're probably going to lose money on this deal, I assume.
Yes,
no one's walking away with
we
cash at the end of
that.
this.
Exactly. We accepted that.
I'm afraid that this guy, he's just mailed it in at this point. He's given up, and he's just going to let everything just burn down.
Is he gainfully employed?
As far as I know of, yes.
How would she know? They don't talk.
I think you need to have a come to Jesus meeting and say, I got to know everything about what's going on in your life, and you're going to know everything that's going on in my life until this is all over. But we need to make a game plan.
Yes. Okay.
I'm so sorry you're going through this,
Janelle.
Janelle. You can talk to a real estate attorney and dig into that, but that's going to cost you too. But I really hope this doesn't end in foreclosure. And you have an amazing income. Use that to your advantage to catch up and get out of this thing with as little damage as possible.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Dan is in Lima, Ohio. Hi, Dan. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Thanks, Dave, for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
Appreciate it. Well, I recently had knee surgery, both total knees. So,
Ooh.
and as I'm going to physical therapy, that happened December 2nd. As I'm going to physical therapy, they're telling me I can no longer kneel and I can no longer climb. And I am a carpenter, and that's what I do. So it's like, okay, I have to do something different. I do have options. I can go ahead and retire. I have to take a penalty, and I would draw approximately $3,118 a month until the day I die. So that's not a bad option, but it's like I want to make sure I do the right option. If I would make it until 62, I'd draw almost $3,800 a month.
How old are you?
I'll be 58 in January.
You're a union carpenter, I take it?
Yes, union carpenter. Yes.
Okay.
So the rant and rave about college and everything else like that, for you people that ain't smart, a union trade is a great thing. Pipe fitter, boilermaker, carpenter, it's all a great thing.
Yeah. What do you make a year back when you were still swinging a hammer?
I make about 65 a year, 60.
Okay. Good for
Depends
you.
on how much overtime I work, which is usually a lot.
Do you have any other savings?
Yes, I also had the carpenter union comes with also an annuity, and I've got like $34,000 in that, and I've pulled that out of the carpenters union and put it in Edward Jones in stocks. But as you can see, the last year the stock market has not been friendly to my investments there. So I would like to know more about switching it to a mutual fund of some sort that will still do decent through a year like this year.
Well, I mean, you would be selling something that's down and buying something that's down, so it's as good a time to do it as any, as far as that switching that over goes. Okay, so you're not going to be a carpenter anymore, and you're going to be making $3,100, right?
Right.
So what are you going to do now?
Well, And that's the thing. I could go do something else for a couple of years, and I'd like to because I would like to pay off my mortgage.
Well, I mean, you're young. You got a lot of things you could do. You just not be a carpenter. You can be something else. And this is what we call an encore career. It's the second act.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you're 58. You still have lots of time. Even just in general, I think we had this conversation a few weeks ago where it's nice to keep your brain active and moving and doing things, even if it's not the career you've known for so many years, just to have that stimulation versus.
I bet you on those super, super cold days or those super, super hot days, you had something pop into your head you'd like to do someday.
You know, I messed my shoulder. I got another story. I messed my shoulder up in 13. So I went back, got fixed, tore off my rotator, tore off my labia, tore off my biceps. So I get it fixed. I go back to work. A year later, same pains, you know. So go see the doctor. Doctor says, you need to do something different. You're a carpenter and it's tearing your shoulder up. So I started my own business. I started a Matco tool franchise, and I did that for like 5 years. And I had a son-in-law that moved back from Florida, and I was like, come along with me, give this a try. And he did awesome at it. So I set him up in that business, and I went back being a carpenter. So, and then recently, my knees, you know, I knew they were bad, you know, and then you go get them MRI.
So if you can do a
like,
Mac tool business, you can do another business, right?
Yeah. But
So I'm telling you, those days that you were laid up in the hospital or those days that it was too hot to be outside or too cold to be outside and you were out there anyway, you were thinking, someday I'm going to go do blank, 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 and you ought to go do that now. That's all I'm saying. You're not a carpenter anymore. Your doc told you. You're done.
Do you think you should go ahead and take the early penalty and get the 3118 or wait on that? Like do another career that fully funds his life?
I mean, yeah, if you can just eat, if you can make enough to live and not take it now and take it at 65, that's fine. That's going to be a lot better deal for him. Or take it now and still go get money, right?
Well,
Either one's okay.
Yeah, if you do take it now, you could still get a job that's a little bit more of a passion project. Like if you want to go, you know, not volunteer, but work in a nonprofit or something like that. I guess that's the case.
No, I want him to go make some money.
So get a real,
he ran a business making money with tool business before.
So best case scenario, he waits till 62. Don't touch that, and then let it get to where it's 3,800.
Either one's fine, but if he takes it now, it does take the pressure off trying to make the other thing happen immediately because you got money to eat with.
Yeah,
so I'm probably going to take it now just for that reason, but I'm still going to say, go start another thing, man.
Yeah, you've done it before.
You're not going to kick your feet up on $3,000 a month. You're not done at that, so you need some more than that. So.
Well, and even just beyond the money, you told the story recently about your fishing friend who took off for a while, then he got fat, and then went back to work.
Yeah,
and he didn't enjoy it. A lot of people, you know, they get all that time back, and then they're like, wait a minute, I want to do something. I'm excited to do something. I want to get out of the house.
Yep, that's exactly right. So there's a benefit of that, and I just think, you know, all I'm saying is you've been through all this pain physically, and now you don't really have the option of doing this anymore. So the only question is whether you take the retirement now or you wait and take it later. Doesn't really matter. Either one's going to be fine, but neither case is enough. So you're going to you need to go create some income doing something else. That's the important part of this particular discussion. By the way, folks, it is good to stop and recognize this, okay? Buford did a book called Halftime, and he said that men in particular, the data tells us, spend the first half of their life in acquisition and the second half of their life seeking significance. Women too, but the study he did was on men, and the research that he had was on that. And if you don't reach for significance in that second half, you tend to get off the rails and get into drugs or run off with a secretary in a red convertible or whatever, that kind of stuff, right? So guys, you need to aim at something in the second half. Now, sometimes your second half starts at 30. Sometimes it starts at 58. What's your second half? It's not an age thing. There's like an arc to your career, an arc to what you're doing. And the first half of it is acquisition. The second half is significance. The important part of that conversation is the other piece of data that's out there that we do know is that your highest the typical person, your highest income potential decade is the decade of your 50s, 50 to 60, because that's the point in your life that all of your experience in your career field is now valuable. And before then, you've been gathering that experience by making mistakes. Now all of those mistakes are called experience, and you really know things that you just didn't know before. It puts you in a sweet spot to go really cha-ching. And so that's why this encore career thing comes up is very, very, very important.
Brought to you by CHM, a biblically based alternative to health insurance. Learn more at chministries.org/budget.
Well, my dad is going to leave my brother next to nothing when he dies, and he's not telling him.
How do you know? What did he tell you?
He told me that he set up a trust with a fiduciary and that he was going to leave different amounts to us 3 children in different ways. And then he told me he had set up some other things in the trust to protect it.
Okay. So you said that the brother's left out, but you just said he's going to leave something to the 3 of you. Is it a different amount of money, or tell us more?
Yes. He's going to, told me he was going to leave him $10,000.
And what did the other kids get?
I'm not sure because he hadn't said, but my sister, he didn't tell me how much. He just told me that he was going to give her a large lump sum because she's the most fiscally prepared for the future, most fiscally responsible, makes the most, handles her money the best.
Okay. What about you?
With me, he set up monthly payments basically for 25 years.
Oh, how much?
$3,500 per month.
Okay.
How old are you?
I'm 58.
58.
Yeah.
Okay. This sounds like your dad is pretty controlling. And it's a little bit gamesmanship, manipulative, the way he's handling all this. Does that sound right?
No, I would not describe him that way at all.
Then why isn't he just telling your brother?
I think it's because he has experienced a serious lack of respect. Mm-hmm. And things have happened in the past that have hurt an already struggling relationship that's struggled a lot, pretty much from the very beginning. And he just
How old is your
doesn't
brother?
want to do it. He's a year older.
Okay. All right. Well, wow.
But it's not like
number one, there is no one is entitled to an inheritance. It's your dad's money. He can do with it what he wants to do with it. Okay?
Right.
Even if someone else thinks it's weird, it's his money, and he can do with it what he wants to. He's trying to not stir up a problem with your brother, it sounds like, where there's already problems, and this would just throw gas on the fire, is what you're telling me. Okay?
Yes.
So I don't, and he didn't tell you. I think he puts you in an awkward position by you not having the information and not telling the brother. But I don't think he thought about that.
No, he knows because I brought it up. I told him that he was putting me in a really awkward position.
But you're not asked to administer it. You have a fiduciary. There's a trustee. So you're not, there's no way you get blamed because you're not in the line of fire. You're not having to administer this to your brother. The trustee will.
Does your other sister know that these are the plans as well?
Yes.
So maybe the conversation, because here's where I'm getting at. I agree with what Dave said, but it's almost like he's not dealing with the problem now, but the problem will be yours when dad passes away because your brother, I don't know what kind of guy your brother is, but I would not want to, if I were you, I would not want to be in this situation where someone could feel resentment towards me for something that someone else didn't deal with. And now you're in the situation to have to say, well, I don't know why he did this. And that weight can be on you. That's the part of this that I don't like if I were sitting in your shoes.
I brought that up to him, and he said he was concerned for my safety. So he set up in the trust, as soon as he dies, I can either stay in the house for 3 months or I can move immediately, and his trust will pay to get me out, because he was concerned about.
I'm sorry, whose house are you in?
I live with my father. I had to move in with him 5 years ago to help him because he needs a living caretaker. I work full time, but I moved across the country to help him 5 years ago. And I've tried, I did have a place on my own, but I was traveling 30 minutes one way to help him on a daily basis.
Now, would the narrative not be that your brother says, hey, because you were living with Dad, you talked him into this?
Yes, that's going to be the narrative.
But what about this? What threw me on what you said is the safety. He said if he's afraid for your safety, what kind of guy is your brother that he would say that?
Well, he's never been violent to me or to my dad or to my family members, but he's had violent interactions with other people on the other side of his family. And I have actually had to ask my brother to leave my dad's house at one point because he was verbally abusing him when I first came down here to help, or came up here to help my dad.
How old is your dad? You said he's 80?
He's 83.
Okay. All right. Your dad is not handling this well. He owes you, in return for your care of him, even though it's not going to be pretty, he owes that it lands on him, and he needs to tell your brother while he's alive. Mm-hmm. And if I'm you, I'm going to demand that. Because this is this is going to land on you because of proximity. It's going to look like you talked him into doing all this.
Yes.
And so your dad is being a coward, and he's letting this land on you. And he I know he doesn't want to face it, and he could just send him a letter. He doesn't have to say, here's what I'm doing. I'm giving sister number 1 lump sum because she's responsible. I'm giving sister number 2 that takes care of me monthly because she's not as responsible. And since you and I don't have a quality relationship, I'm only leaving you this. Mm-hmm. And he needs to just send him a note that says that. And I love you, but you and I, as you know, have struggled for many years, and I am not going to bless that with my estate. So you need to know that in the front end. And this is my decision. Your sisters have had no input on this. I decided this with my lawyer, and this is what's happening. And let him take the brunt of this, so that the narrative is not reset in the vacuum, because that's what's going to happen. That piece of you living with him and taking care of him changes the conversation. Before, I was a little bit like, whatever. But now with you living there, it's going to look like you spent 5 years manipulating the old man into getting money and cutting a brother out after you had to throw him out for being verbally abusive. It's going to look like it's going to land on you. There's no question about it. And your dad needs to take care of that. That's unfair to you. If I was the old man involved, I'd be stepping up. This is The Ramsey Show.
CHM isn't health insurance. It's a health cost-sharing ministry. Check it out for yourself at chministries.org/budget.
Bruce is with us, and Bruce is in Abilene, Texas. Hi, Bruce. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
I just want to say we loving all of you. You guys are great.
Thank you, Bruce. How can we help?
Well, I started a business in the first couple of years. I used a credit card, a debit card all the time. And I was having to break down anywhere from 180 to 220 transactions on my bank statement every month, and it was an accounting nightmare. Now, here's where I get in trouble. I got 5 credit cards for my LLC. One's for seal coat, one's for aggregate, one's for fuel, one's for asphalt, one's for supplies. There's always money in the bank, and they're all on auto pay, and it has taken all the accounting nightmare away. And Is it possible to be an exception to the rule?
I don't understand why 5 debit cards wouldn't do exactly the same thing.
Well, because I've gotten a free iPhone, I get travel points.
No. You didn't tell me about free crap. You said accounting nightmare.
It is.
And you went to 5 credit cards why would 5 debit cards not do the exact same thing for your accounting?
On a debit card, could I have 5 different ones on one account?
Yeah. Yeah, they'd have different numbers on them. I've got 78 on one account. Ramsey Solutions runs on debit cards.
That goes to show me. Okay, well, I hear you, and I'll make the transition.
Yeah, and here's the thing. You can do whatever you want to do, Bruce. Obviously, you're not going broke from this if you're auto-paying them and you're not carrying any balances. But what I've had to learn to do was 2 things, and I became fanatical about it, and I think the fanaticism helped me, and that's why I'm going to continue selling it. Okay. The fanatical thing, number 1 I did was I figured out smart things that I could automate, and I put smart on auto, meaning like auto deduct from my paycheck going into a 401k, auto deduct from my checking account. In the early days when they very first started doing it, I was one of the first ones to do it, to pay my utilities always on time, and I always got the discount. Okay, auto saving into kids' college coming out of my checking account, auto saving going into the Roth IRA out of my checking account every month. So I did smart things on auto. That was the first thing I did. I automated smart. And the second thing I did was anything that looked like a snake, it could bite me, I don't play with it. And a credit card that is a snake for sure, that can bite you, even though you're a pretty good snake charmer, you got them kind of tamed. You got them laying in 5 distinct buckets, and you've got them on auto pay and all that kind of stuff. You've at least smart did the auto pay. That was a smart move, But you still, you play with snakes long enough, you're going to get bit, and that's the problem. And so that's why I just don't have a credit card, and I haven't all these years. I don't want to accidentally end up in debt. It's just not going to happen. I know I don't owe anyone any money under any circumstances because I don't have any tools that I use in the financial world that can result in debt. It's impossible because I don't sign up. And so I stay away from things that I can accidentally get bit with, number 1. Number 2, I put smart on auto. And those 2 things take even, because I'm smart enough. I kept trying to outsmart all this crap and scheming and scamming, and it'll get you.
I think that's a lot of people's stories. I mean, most people who start out using credit cards, they don't think they're going to be the person $30,000 in debt.
No one does.
No one does.
No one takes it out and I got 10% off at Macy's and I got the discount. No one ever says, and I'm going to end up owing these bozos $3,000 for 400 years. No one says that. They just go, I got 10% off. I got a free iPhone, Bruce, I'll make fun of you, right? Okay, whatever, right? And so no one says, oh God, look, I'm going to go, let's go. I'm intentionally going to go. The average credit card right now is 22%.
Ouch.
With inflation, the banks helped you out. They went up, okay? Because they inflated the interest rate from 18. The average is 22%. So no one says, I'm going to intentionally go deeply in debt at 22% and then wonder why I'm broke. No one says that. You're right.
Everyone sees the points. They see the bonuses, and they think that they're going to be the ones that take advantage of the system. They beat the system. And yet, the system is still building skyscrapers. They're still taking people thousands of dollars in debt.
Yeah. Now, I do know people that have credit cards that pay them off every month, and they're not going to cause them to go bankrupt. But you are walking around with a very small rattlesnake in your pocket. And the small ones bite harder than the big ones, I hear. So be careful.
They're sneaky.
Just be careful. Yeah.
You don't see them coming.
They don't hold back. They empty all their venom. And so, yeah, it's a problem. And so I don't, I'm going to put a home equity line of credit on my home, but we're not going to draw on it, but it'll just be there in case. I need a bass boat in case I want to go to Disney World. In case, and yeah, your in case changes later, but you set yourself up. You were playing with snakes, and you put a financial thing in place that allows you to do that. And another one of these is overdraft protection. We're going to set up overdraft protection. You're never going to be an overdraft because it turns into a loan. And guess what? 100% of the time, that's going to turn into a loan. This is what happens with it.
Well,
but I'm being wise. I don't want to pay any overdraft fees. Well, here's an idea. Don't run your dadgum checking account down to zero and actually keep up with what money's in there. Duh. Why is this hard? It's not hard. But we rationalize our butts off out there. I do it too. Bruce has done it. I've done it. Christina's done it. We've all done it. The question is, what's the shortest, fastest, best path, most proven path to wealth? And it's not that. Brought to you by YRefi. Refinance your defaulted private student loans today at yrefi.com/Ramsey.
All right, today's question comes from Jackie in Massachusetts. She says, everywhere I go these days, there's a tipping screen now at the end of the purchase. For the average person who's not in baby step 7, when is it appropriate to leave a tip at coffee shops and restaurants versus not giving one? That's actually a really good question. I mean, I definitely feel like since COVID, since the pandemic, tipping has kind of gone into the stratosphere, I think. And there's been some tipping fatigue out there. I definitely think whenever you're in a restaurant situation where you're sitting down, you're placing an order, there's somebody attending to your table, you should always tip. And I think that you should tip between 18 to 20%. That's just me. I'm a 22% tipper. That's Jade's personal thing, but you need to at least be, I think, 18 at those places. Now there are, I think also anything that's really a close, I'm going to call it a closely felt service, right? So somebody who's cutting your hair, someone who's doing your nails, or like involved in your bodily person while they're doing a service. I think that those people also should be tipped. Again, 15% is a great place to start on that. Things that I don't tip for, or, sometimes it's like, it just depends on if it's really great, would be, I don't know, like a barista service, something like that. It's like, I got my coffee. If it was really good and I know the person and it's like always the same guy or something, I might tip them a little bit. Grocery delivery, if it's raining out, always tip them. What about you, Dave? I'm just trying to think, what do you not tip for? I'm trying to think what I don't tip for. I'm a tipper though. I lean heavily into tipping.
For me, tipping falls in the bucket with generosity.
Yeah, I think me too.
And so I overdo it to the point that my wife cringes.
Well, we have it on our budget as a line item.
Yeah, she's like, you don't need to leave that much. It wasn't that good. And I'm like, yeah, well, they don't care if it's that good. And, here's the thing. The kitchen might have screwed up, not the poor waitress.
That's right. No, please don't take it out on the waitress.
Yeah, so
rarely.
Sometimes the waitress is an idiot, too. That happens.
It does,
but in my case, I don't really have a choice because they're going to have a Dave Ramsey story. It might as well be a good one.
That's true. You're a known fellow.
I'm a known felon. So I have to
fellow.
that too. And so I have to leave a tip even when I don't want to. But I want to. I like doing that. But the times that I walk up to the counter and someone spins an iPad at me and I leave a tip is precisely zero. I do not tip there ever. That is not a tippable.
Well, if I know that person is going to be touching my food.
There's a tip jar on the counter at the gas station, and I just walked in to pay for my gas. No, I'm not tipping. You can flip that screen at me all you want. I'm not tipping.
Yeah.
No, you didn't do anything. And so, sorry, it's not anything.
Yeah.
But I over tip on everything else. Here's one where people don't tip, and I think this is horrible. 100% of the time I stay in a hotel, I pinch a 20 and I leave it in a standing on the end of the bed when I leave every day.
The maid service, yeah.
Every day the maid gets tipped. And my wife is like, well, they didn't even do turn down service. Oh my God, would you quit with this already?
So you don't wait till the end. You do it at the end of each day?
Every day.
I like that.
Every day. And so, and you know what? I never have a problem with the room either.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Ever. And the one that drives me real crazy, I saw this happen the other day. This guy pulled up in a it's like a $130,000 Mercedes. And he's parking a car with a valet, and it's raining, and he gives this kid $5.
Stop it. I don't like that.
And I'm like, no, this is just dumb. You just gave him the keys to your $130,000 car, Ferris Bueller.
Man, he's going to mess with the seats. Man. He's going to change all the stations.
And you gave him $5? Yeah. Are you moron? I mean, come on. So there's certain, I've tipped valets $50.
You better tip the valet.
But you know what? That car's sitting right there when I come out too. They didn't even park it. It's just sitting there. They didn't even touch it. And so That's good. I like that. So that's good service goes
It
with
is.
the good tip. So yeah, and I
Listen, I used to work in food service.
and when I pull up with the valets, in some cases I almost always hit them on the front end.
Yeah.
And then another person brings the car back
And get them too.
And so sometimes I do, but sometimes I go, hey, the other guy. I hit the other guy on the front end. He goes, oh, I heard about it. So,
oh, okay, yeah. They usually
at least
tip share
they knew what was happening. So you want to do that, but that's a reputation thing and it's a generosity thing. But this thing of you just poured some coffee at Starbucks and you spin the thing around, face it in my
Negatory.
I don't buy coffee at Starbucks. So why am I saying that?
But I'm saying that
I've
type
never
of scenario.
I haven't been in a
tip.
Starbucks in 15 years. So
Yeah.
what am I saying? But I mean, coffee shop. If I went into a coffee shop and they pour me a cup of coffee and they hand it across the counter,
Quick serve.
no thank
not
you.
It.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't tip Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, it's not what I'm doing. I'm driving through. You're handing me the Jesus chicken out,
Yeah.
and I'm gone. I mean,
Now I
that's
do
not-
feel like if you can't, like when you go to actual restaurants, I feel like if you can't afford to leave a nice tip,
if you can't afford
go.
tip, you shouldn't go.
You can't go. Yeah.
No, that's for sure. Because those people are working for tips.
They're working hard. Yeah.
And a lot of them aren't being paid well unless they're tipped.
Mm-hmm.
And so.
And have a nice demeanor towards them too. Because listen, back in the day when I worked at Applebee's, I don't want to tell you some of the things I saw back there.
No, let me
when
tell you.
people were when tables were acting up.
Payback's hell on that.
Oh
yeah.
man, you don't want to know.
You don't want to know what happened to your food before it came out. But
I never did anything. I would never do something like that.
No, I don't think you would.
I never would.
Well, it would be against your religion to mess up food. Because you like food.
I love food. I love people. Even if somebody's wilding out, I still would not do some of the things that I have witnessed.
No. But I'll tell you the other one. You know what we used to do? Because one of the things everybody door dashes and whatever to get out of debt. That's their get out of debt side hustle. But it used to be that we'd all just go, hey, go deliver pizzas. And so we had a thing for a long time on this show, and we could start it again right now. That says, okay, if DoorDash or if Domino's or Marco's or Pizza Hut or whoever shows up at your door with a pizza, and you say, how are you doing? And they say, better than I deserve.
Oh, that's great.
That's code for, I'm working this job to get out of debt. You got to double their tip.
I love that.
You got to double their tip.
I love that.
And so, because they're trying to get out of debt and you're now helping them. They're out here hustling. They're bringing you food in the rain while you're sitting on your butt. So double their tip.
Man, and give it to them in cash. Like if I can catch the DoorDash person, like over the holidays, you're ordering food and people are hanging out.
I always do
If you
cash.
can catch them at the door and give them cash,
I always do cash. Yeah, I do. I always do cash.
Yeah, because if somebody's working Christmas
on
Eve,
that kind of thing, or valets, that kind of. Now, if I'm in a fine dining restaurant, I'm going to pay it part of the bill.
Yeah, for sure.
With the debit card, and they always make fun of me. Is this a debit card? Yeah. Well, is this your tip? Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see how this works. But yeah. Anyway, absolutely. It's a kindness. It's an exchange. But this spin the iPad around is not an exchange.
Yeah.
And I got zero obligations. If I picked up some queso at the Mexican restaurant to take to Rachel's house for Father's Day Sunday night, and I did not tip them. They had the little queso at the door.
Yeah.
I paid them at the queso. They did not serve my table.
You drove. Yeah,
I
drove and got
up.
it.
I walked in the rain, got the queso, got in the truck, went to Rachel's house. Yeah. No, we don't tip that.
No, I don't tip that.
No.
Now, if they bring it, there's one restaurant I go to where they'll bring it out to the car, to your door. And I'm like, I do tip that one because I'm like, you packed it up and you brought it out to me. I did drive. That one I'll tip. That one's up to your discretion.
Yeah, you can hit in the middle there. But this thing of, it's kind of like, it's manipulative.
Well, you have to.
The spinning of the iPad is a manipulation.
Well, then they stand there and stare at you.
It's the other one is, do you want to give to the Wounded Pet Association or something?
Do your
add
change
on
up?
$1
add the change.
to your groceries. No, if I wanted to give to the Wounded Pet Association, I would have already given them money. Yeah. I'm not adding it to my grocery bill and you get the credit for the charity. No. So zero on those. I don't add $1 for the Blind Cat Society or whatever the heck it is that they put on there. It's just, they come up with some crap, man. It's unbelievable. Or Blind Dog Society. I don't care. Whichever one you want. It doesn't matter to me. But yeah, just no, we're not. No.
Not even in 12 cents, Dave.
That's not a tip, though. But it's a manipulation at checkout.
It is.
It's the same thing. It's still a manipulation at checkout, and it's nickel and diming you to death, and no thank you. And I don't feel guilty. Why Refi? Refinances delinquent private student loans for struggling borrowers. Learn more at yrefy.com/Ramsey.
1 800 876 3232. 1 800 876 3232. 1 800 876 3232. 1 800 876 3232. 1 800 876 3232. 1 800 876 3232. 1 800 876 3232. 1 800 876 3232. 1 800 876 3232. 1 800 876 3232. 1 800 876 3232. 1 800 876 3232. 1 800 876 3232. 1 800 876 3232. 1 800 876 3232. 1 800 876 3232. 1 800 876 3232. 1 800 876 3232. 1 800 876 3232. 1 800 876 3232. 1 800 876 3232. 1 800 876 3232. 1 800 876 3232. 1 800 876 3232. 1 800 876 3232. 1 800 876 3232. 1 800 876 3232. 1 800 876 3232. 1 800 876 3232. 1 800 876 3232. 1 800
Today's question comes from Anthony in South Carolina. Our household income is $190,000 and our only debts are a $1,500 car loan and our mortgage. We have about 1.5 months income in our emergency fund. I want to accelerate building this up and save cash for a new car to replace the 11-year-old family car. My wife thinks we need to find a better credit card that offers points and rewards and pay it off every month. A friend of hers pays for all of their family vacations this way, and she thinks we are, quote, missing out on the benefits. Even if the math works, and this is true, the human behavior component is too big a factor to ignore, and I don't want to entertain this. How can I convince her that we will serve our finances better by avoiding this? We do well enough financially that we should be avoiding any new debt altogether and building wealth, not gaming credit card companies for vacations. A lot of wisdom here from Anthony. He gets it.
I don't even know if there's a question here.
Well, the question is, how do I convince my wife? She is not on board with this plan.
So do you have, like you did an episode of this on your show, do you have a 2 or 3 bullet points that you can pass along to a friend? When somebody asks me this, like, they find out I work here and they're like, all right, bro, but seriously, like, come on, bro. The thing I always go back to is I love Southwest. I fly Southwest whenever I can. They are not my friend. They are not looking out for me. They are trying to run a business that makes a bunch of money. And so when they hand me something that they say is for free, I have to instinctively know it's not. It's just costing somebody something, whether it's those who have struggled with behavior issues, and that's me. Whenever somebody gives me free points for this free, they're not doing that because they're altruistic, right? That's always my default. Like, there's going to come out in the wash somewhere, the cost here.
So on the credit card rewards episode we did on the Fine Print, the podcast that you're talking about, I interviewed an ex-employee at Capital One.
Okay.
And she told me they run thousands and thousands of experiments on humans to figure out what's going to get them to spend more.
Right.
And so what they found is, hey, instead of it being cash back, we should make it points. Because then you go, I have 100,000 points.
I'm winning.
Oh, that's $100. Whoops. And, I can only use it on these certain dates and these certain flights, and I can only go to Boise in July.
Right.
And so there's all kinds of
Boise.
stipulations with points. Shout out to Boise. Love you guys. Big
Love
fan.
Boise.
But there's always going to be a trap, and if you think you're winning, that's what they want you to think.
Yeah.
They want you to think, man, I'm really sticking it to them. I'm making so much money off of American Express and Discover Card. And what I found is you are the best cashback program that exists. When you do a budget, when you get out of debt and you stay out of debt, you can fund your own trips without having to hope that you have enough points and that you did the offer at the right time and that you spent enough money to hit the reward incentive program. Goodness, that's exhausting. What a tiring way to live, to keep up like that. So, one thing I would tell you, Anthony, listen together to that episode of The Fine Print on credit card rewards, and we equated it to Chuck E. Cheese. You go in with $10, you get some coins, you have some fun playing the games, you get 45 tickets, and you think, man, we really crushed it. And then you go and you get a sticky hand, because that's all you can afford.
And that sticky hand costs you $10.
You can't afford the boom box up on the top shelf.
That's $7,000 to earn enough tickets to get the boom box.
And so you're not going to win from this. And like you're saying, John, it does come down to behavior. It comes down to who is benefiting from this and who is the one paying for these rewards. Is it the single mom who can't afford to pay her credit card bill, so she's stuck with interest and fees that funded my vacation? Maybe.
Yeah.
Is it a broken system and a toxic money culture and company that's funding this? I don't want that either.
That's the part that got me is ultimately when I lived with a credit card that had points, I was super diligent, right? I was paranoid about getting back into debt, so I was super diligent. This is before I came here. And when it occurred to me, if they're not making money specifically off me, it's somebody on the margins who has been sucked into this deal to try to make rent, to try to feed their kids. And they're funding my quote-unquote free vacation. And I couldn't sleep with that. I want out of that game completely, right? I want all hooks out of that system. I don't want to contribute to somebody else hurting. I'm just going to pay for my own vacations, man.
Well, and here's the hilarious part. They make $190,000. If you can't save up for a $10,000 car, you suck at money management.
Yeah, there's some serious issues in your life.
You can never out-earn your stupidity at that point.
Right. If you have a $1,500 car loan, pay it off yesterday.
With the emergency fund, you guys are doing things out of order here. Yeah. I think if you did it in order, you'd feel the progress, you'd feel the momentum, and then you go, all right, the car loan's paid off, let's rebuild this emergency fund, we have financial peace, we have a foundation. Now the world is our oyster. We can save up and pay for that vacation. We can get the new car 3 months from now. But we need some delayed gratification.
1 month from now with 190K,
Yeah.
right? You can do that real quick. So
it's a great question, though. It's hard to get spouses to come together and agree on something like this. So that's why Financial Peace University is so powerful. It gives us common language, shared goals, and we go, all right, it's not just me against you now. It's, millions of people have done it this way, and that works. Maybe let's listen to that.
So I had a guy named Dr. Lane Norton on my show the other day talking about exercise, and I kept, he's one of the best in the world when it comes to nutrition and exercise. Ultimately, he passed along the same wisdom that I've heard over and over, which is there's so many gadgets, there's so many late night things, there's so many Curtis Ray's out in the world. There's so many people selling you a hack to a thing, and it's like, what's the best workout I can do? The one you'll just do every day. The one you'll just be consistent with 3 times a week, 5 times a week, 6 times, whatever the thing is, just be consistent. And if you can't show up and do 5 reps of do 3. Right? Show up and keep showing up, and over time, you'll be fine. And that same principle works here. I think we get so out of whack, and what's the this and the that? Stop playing games. Just be consistent over time. Don't get in bed with some of these people that are hurting other people. Just make it consistent, make it simple, and just keep going, right? Yeah. And that's money, that's fitness, that's your mental health, that's relationships, that's conversations with your spouse. It's just the same principles. Be consistent and just show up and show up. My mother is always giving me money that I don't ask for, but I know she has bad spending habits. What would you do about this situation? I've never had this happen to me personally. This is a new one. I would probably do one of 2 things. The passive part of me would probably take this money and put it into an account and let it just sit, because there's going to be a day that she comes and asks for it back. The last 4 or 5 years, 6 or 7 years, John would tell my mom, hey mom, I'm really working hard to build a life, with my wife, our own life. And so, I appreciate your gift. I'm really grateful for it, but we want to make a go at this on our own. And so, please feel free to give that money to my brother, my sister, whoever else. Yeah. As gentle as I can. The problem is not her. The problem is me.
Don't bring up the fact that she's too broke to give.
Nope.
Wouldn't even go there. I would just say, I appreciate this and you're so sweet. A, I don't need it. And B, I'm trying to practice the discipline of living on my own. And it would be helpful to me if you would give this to someone else.
My promise is if I ever get desperate enough, I'll call you.
Yeah, I won't go hungry, I promise, Mom. Yeah. And you're so sweet. And thank you. But I can't accept this anymore, because I'm trying to work on me. Yeah. And just turn the whole thing back on yourself.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. The other one that comes up is, and I've heard this one a bunch of times over the years, is mom and dad are broke, but mom keeps buying my kids toys and trips and whatever, grandparent stuff, Disney grandparent stuff on credit cards, and making mom and dad worse. How do I stop her from doing that? And it's a similar conversation, only this one's even harder. But it's like, Mom, we're trying to limit what the kids are getting. And, so you just can't do this anymore. You've got to stop. You're going to have to check with me before you buy anything else. Yeah. And then there's it very seldom is positive to shame them and go, you're too broke to do this. Stop it. That doesn't work. Although that's a true statement, but and it's tempting to say that, but it's really not profitable. Diego starts us off in Phoenix, Arizona. Hi, Diego. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. How are you guys doing today?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Hi. So I'm 26. I have my bachelor's. I want to go to medical school. I want to do it debt-free. I've heard you talk about it before on the show, to go through like the military, see like what other programs that they offer. I tried going through them. I got disqualified. So I really don't want to go into all this debt, but like it's just so time consuming. And on top of that, I live with my parents. Like I'm 26. Like I want to move out, but it seems like I don't know how I can do it without going into debt, because I want to go to medical school. Like I'm ready to go. Like I'm going to do this master's in August. that will give me an entryway into medical school. So it's just like a 9-month master's program. But to do that, I need to go into all this debt. So I don't know what I could do. You know?
Yeah, Diego, it's a great question. I feel like this is one we get, quite often, especially whether it's medical school or law school. And I think different situations, different schools have different routes. And of course, it's very rare. And Dave, I obviously would love your take on it because you talk to people more than I do with this scenario. But what I know, Diego, is that there have been ways that people have found a way, not just to pay cash, but they've done things within the medical community, or they were part of, not a fellowship, but some type of program that actually helps them pay their way through. And I feel like I hear more often that happening more in the law school spectrum. But Dave, have you, for medical school specifically?
There's a couple of things that are going on. Number one, I want to go back and address a phrase you said. This is so time consuming. Let me tell you what's time consuming. Paying off $250,000 in debt, that's time consuming. Okay, so yeah, you need to spend the time and the effort, and that is the big deal, is to spend the time and the effort on the front end. There's a couple of angles I would tell you to look at. One is where you get accepted to medical school is very, very important in the equation, because medical school is not unlike other forms of higher education in that some of that is 4 and 5x what the other one costs. And so, there is the cheaper version. And by the way, I don't remember ever asking a doctor where he went to school. I just asked him if he could fix that broken thing on me. That's all I wanted to know. And so, and if he convinced me he could, then we're there. I never really asked for credentials. Did you go to, a big-time med school or a little-known med school? I didn't ask. Now, obviously, you can learn some things in some places you can't learn in other places and those sorts of things. But anyway, so school selection, just like it is in undergrad, is very important. The second thing you can look for is the MD PhD program. The most famous one is over at Duke, but there's several schools around the country that have those, and that's basically where you get on staff at the school and do some teaching, some undergrad teaching, some grad level teaching type stuff, like graduate assistant type teaching. And since you're a staff member, you get free or near free tuition. It's like getting a fellowship, though. It's very rare. It's very hard to get in. 1 in 100, 1 in whatever, get it. The second thing I would do is I would pick up Ramsey personality, Christina Ellis's book, Confessions of a Scholarship Winner. What Christina did was she managed to apply for and get enough scholarships that she got $500,000 in scholarships. What? Yeah, she did. Yeah. That'll pay for your med school, dude. Okay, so you need to do what she did in that sense, because she ended up getting her undergrad and then went to Vanderbilt for her grad, paid cash for all of it, had money left over. And she's on our team now. She's a brand new Ramsey personality, but before she came here, she wrote a book that was a bestseller called Confessions of a Scholarship Winner, The Secrets That Helped Me Win $500,000 in Free Money for College, How You Can Too. So that type of stuff is the type of material you need to be rolling around in all day long. The last thing I will tell you, and again, this is all just needle in a haystack stuff, but dude, all you got to do is find one needle, and you're there. You don't have to. This does not have to be a policy for the United States of America. This is Diego. Just got to do it. Just Diego. That's the only guy's got to do it. All right. So for your sake, anyway. Now, a lot of the large pharmaceutical companies and large hospital companies are desperate to have doctors like them. And that includes future doctors. And so some of them have scholarship or work for hire type programs, meaning that you can talk to a large hospital corporation and promise to work for them in a different setting, maybe at a reduced rate for several years. But you can go to an underserved area, an inner city area, a rural area where they're having trouble getting docs to park, and you go there and serve for 3 years afterwards. You get paid to do that, but in return for making that promise in advance, it's a modern-day indentured servant program. You get free medical school paid for by them. So that's the type of stuff I'm looking for. Is all of that worth it? Well, you've just got to weigh it out. But I can tell you this. Christina talks about she probably made $1,000 an hour applying for scholarships. So, I mean, if she had, 50,000 hours, in the thing,
Sure.
that'd be $100 an hour, or 5,000 hours would be $1,000 an hour that she got, and she's amazing.
Oh yeah, no, Christina's absolutely incredible. I don't know like the scholarships in the medical.
Yeah, but these were not tied to anything. She used them for grad.
No, she did, but I'm saying for Diego.
Yeah. Are they specific?
Yeah, like are they
specific for medical? I don't know. They're very, again, anything that's graduate level is harder to get than undergrad.
Yes.
A lot of undergrad out there laying around.
And so yeah, you're saying all this is a needle in a haystack, and sure it is, but what I know is even being on this show and talking to people around the country, people have done it. Like they'll come up to me in a book signing line or something. They're like, "Oh yeah, I went to medical school debt free. I did business."
How'd you do that?
Yes, I always ask because it's some kind of program like this, right? It takes a little bit of that creativity. Like when debt is not an option in your life, and you said, "I'm not," whether it's medical school or credit card debt, you have to find a new way of looking. It's not just this automatic. So it does take some creativity.
But this is
and
not
work to go into.
It's not getting in the drive-thru and getting a Starbucks.
Right.
I mean, you're going to have to. This is not cookie cutter. I mean, there's not one on every corner.
Right.
You're going to have to scratch and claw and dig and turn over rocks until a crawdad runs out. You don't even know what that is, but there you go.
I know what a crawdad is.
I know he doesn't, but
Diego, where's Diego from? Phoenix? Oh, but there's crawdads in Phoenix.
You think?
I don't know. Is there?
In Louisiana, they're crayfish, so I don't know.
Sebastian kicks us off in Chicago. Sebastian, welcome to the show.
Hey, y'all. How are you doing today?
We're doing great. How can we help?
Yeah, so I've been kind of floundering around trying to figure out what to do with my life, and I think I boiled it down to like a fundamental question. Do I do something for a cause that I can get behind but I don't really enjoy the daily work of? Or do I do something that I enjoy the work of, daily, but I would have difficulty getting behind the purpose of? And, I'm generally a purpose-driven person, so I think I would struggle with doing just a job I merely enjoy but wouldn't really be able to get behind. And then the last few days, though, I have kind of like maybe narrowed it down to something that I can get behind both. But I've also changed my mind a lot, so I don't know if that's certain.
Yeah, well, if there's one thing I'm certain of, it's you are uncertain, my friend. And
thank you.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. We're going to help you with that. So I want to know this idea where you say you could do both, because that's what I teach, and you've created a false choice. Do something that the work itself I enjoy, but the results of the work don't connect to my values, or do something where the results of the work connect, but I don't enjoy the work. That's a false choice. I actually teach that we as humans are on purpose doing what we were created to do when we use what we do best to do work we love to produce results that matter to us. So what's this third idea, this idea you've been kicking around where you think you can do both? Do the work you love and connect to the results. What is it?
Yeah, it'd be like a university professor of government philosophy and economics.
Okay, tell us why that would be work that you love. Focus on the work itself.
Okay, like the daily in and out?
Yeah, what about that job as being a professor of government would be work that you love?
First of all, I love teaching people things. It's something I'm passionate about. I'm also phenomenal at studying. That's what I did throughout my own university career. So I'd also have the opportunity to study myself and then teach others and engage them in a way that would really challenge them to think. Like I could go and teach something like math, which is probably what I enjoy the most, but it's not something that I could really get behind. But something with government and economics, you have the opportunity to shape young minds and challenge others to think about the way that society is constructed, think about the way that governments are set up, and ask the question: is what we're doing the best way for the people?
Okay.
And that's especially because I've seen and I've been to other countries where it's just a mess,
Okay, so you answered my next question, which is what are the values that position would allow you to connect with, and you just went ahead and answered that. So if you look at what I just said to you, when you use what you do best to do work you love to produce results that matter to you, you're on fire, you're on purpose, and you experience extreme fulfillment. And so those three elements are talent, passion, and mission. I'm using my talent to perform my passion to accomplish my mission. Does that make sense to you?
Using my talent to perform my passion.
It's a yes or no question. I'm going to
Yes,
say it
I
again.
understand.
It's as
Yes.
simple as it gets, my young friend who wants to teach. If I use my talent to perform my passion to accomplish my mission, does that make sense to you?
That makes sense.
All right, then. Does the college professor of government and economics allow you to do that? Yes or no?
And this is something that's like, I think so.
We're so close.
What do you mean you think so? What do you mean you think so? No, no. Now here's where the problem comes in. You're thinking instead of feeling. I'm not saying that's the only job for you where you can do that. But if we look at college professor of government and economics, we have to run it through that grid. It doesn't mean it's the only job for you, but it allows you to go, could I do that? Well, would I enjoy it, and would it produce results that matter to me? What's the answer, yes or no?
I guess it's the best thing that I've come across so far, you know?
The answer is yes or no. Would that job allow you to fulfill? I'm not saying you got to choose it. I'm saying, would it meet the requirement? Yes or no? The answer is yes.
Would, as
the answer is
long
yes.
as
Just say yes for a second. Then I'm going to lead you further. Yes or no?
Sure. Yes.
All right. Now what we have to do is we say, okay, that one seems to check all the boxes, but I'm going to go do the work of clarifying and verifying. And here's what that means. You need to actually spend some time with a college professor. Coffee, lunch, talk to them, learn everything about the ins and outs of that job. The good, the bad, George, the ugly. And when you do that, Sebastian, that will then allow you to go ding, 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 or eh. Does that make sense? Yes or no?
That makes sense.
All right. See, now we're not so locked up, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to get off this phone call and choose college professor. But I gave you a process by which you can know with tremendous clarity and confidence that this is what I want to do. That's been your jam. You've been all stuck on uncertainty, and I just gave you a process. So go spend time with college professors, and if it's a no, then we keep using that purpose statement plan. Let's give him, by the way, the Get Clear assessment. Hang on the line, Sebastian. We're going to give you a tool. It's going to give you a great high-level job description. It's called the Get Clear assessment.
James is on Twitter. Dave, can you help me understand if this new tax bill is going to help or harm the middle class? Well, regardless of your politics, I can tell you this. Think with me. Just use your brain. Pull your brain out of your politics for a second, people. Think with me. Who better handles money for the good of society? Individuals or the government? Companies or the government? Who is the most efficient user of money and thereby better for society? Individuals or the government? Companies or the government? Answer is never the government. Is society better off the less money government extracts from it? Answer, yes. So, regardless of the technical, tactical breakdowns of whether you personally will see a $942 change in your tax bill next year, 96% will, or whatever these analyses are you see coming out everywhere, it appears most everybody's going to get a little bit back, a little bit different. Some more than others, and a lot of people don't even pay taxes. You know that, right? Like 50% of the people in the United States don't pay any federal income tax. So you need to keep that in mind. I mean, it's like bizarre if you think about it. So it's nuts. Yeah. If you make a certain income, you get money from the government. You don't give money to the government. An unearned income tax credit. I mean, you get taxes back and you didn't pay any in, or more back than you paid in. One of the two. You get money out. I mean, your net effect is you get money out. You don't put money in. For most people, that's half the people listening, or half the people in the world, in the U.S., that's what it is. So if you want to call a portion of those middle class, they're not even going to change, except that the culture is always better off. The community is always better off. The nation is always better off when it has less taxes extracted from it. Now, some of you do not believe that the money will result in someone doing something with it in the marketplace, that everybody's just going to, that the rich just take their money and nobody benefits. Well, it is their money, by the way, but aside from that private property issue, I'm wealthy. If I have more money, do you know what I do? You think I just put it all in the bank somewhere or hide it under my mattress? I mean, what do? Well, I buy stuff with it. And when I buy something with it, whoever made that thing gets paid. Whoever sells that thing gets paid. Whoever owns the store where that thing is sold gets paid. And then when they get money, so if I go across the street to a restaurant and I spend money, the server gets money, the cook gets money, the restaurant owner gets money, the restaurant manager gets money, the janitor that sweeps up the floor at the restaurant gets money. Because I'm a customer, it's more likely to continue, and there's more money going over there. So if they have more money, what do? Oh, they spend it. And where do they spend it? Oh, down at the hardware store. If the guy at the hardware store has more money because I spent money at the restaurant, and then the restaurant spends money at the hardware store, this is called monetary policy, for those of you that are uninitiated. It is called the flow of money. It's why we call money currency. You ever heard this called currency? Because it flows. It has a current to it. It is not a dead-end river. And money is not finite. There's not a fixed pie, meaning if I get more, it means someone else got less. Money's not like a pie. It's more like candles, Rabbi Lapin says. If I light your candle off of my candle, now we have two candles that are lit. That's how money works. It doesn't work where if I light your candle, then mine goes out. That's not how it works. So, all of that to say, you can call it trickle-down economics. You can scream and flop your liberal self around on the floor if you want. Doesn't work. The rich just keep getting richer. Wealth inequality. Well, there's never been a culture in the history of the world. You can find no historical evidence anywhere that says that by extracting money from one class, that the other class prospers. It's called socialism economically at its core, and socialism doesn't work. It's a failed experiment. Communism is more of a failed experiment. And so if you believe in communism and socialism, then that's an economic form of government, but it has a bad track record. And so it has to do with equalizing the inequality of wealth, except for the people who are running the place. And there's always the aristocracy that, even in a liberal mentality, the aristocracy ends up very, very rich. And so there's always this wealth inequality, even in a pure communistic setting. It's like everybody's going to be equal except for the bunch that put it together, So that's really how it works. So be thinking about that. So the bottom line is, does the middle class, is it going to help or harm the middle class? The new tax bill. Well, the new tax bill in general puts more money into the economy and less money to the government. Anytime that happens, it's a good day. It's that much less money that they have to poorly manage, was that kind. Horribly manage. That much less money that they have to mess with and screw up and buy $25,000 hammers and $32,000 toilet seats. Yeah, you know the stories, and you've seen it too. So the less money that we send up there to be inefficiently used is better for everyone. Everyone. As a general macro statement. Now, individually, you can dissect the actual law itself and figure out who's going to get what tax cut, and then you can try to make some suppositions as to what might happen with that. But, the question is, does the economy grow more when government extracts money from the economy and increase taxes, or does the economy grow more when the government releases money into the economy instead of extracting it? It's kind of common sense. You don't have to be an economic genius to figure this out. And it does work. It does work. Now, government has some things it does, but it doesn't do anything efficiently. It has some things it does that only it can do. But this idea that poor people are helped by government programs is a joke. I mean, really? Seriously? I mean, look, it's very, very inefficient. The millions of dollars it takes to get $1 to a poor person is amazing. And so, overall, it's going to help the middle class. It's going to help the lower class because it's going to help society. It's going to help the upper class, too. And by the way, that's okay. It's okay. These people didn't rob anybody. They didn't steal anything. They just did more work and sold more stuff than you did. So they've got more than you got. That's how it works. Bill Gates has got more than I got. He sold more stuff than I have. He's helped more people than I have. So don't be mad at Bill Gates. He didn't do anything wrong. At least not for becoming wealthy. You don't want to be mad at him. He just sold a bunch of computers. Like a whole bunch of them. Like changed the world. Don't be mad. Don't be mad at him. Rich people are not evil people. They just serve at a different level. Now, there's a few of them are evil, but there's a few poor people are evil too. And a few of you are too stupid to be believed. You got your head stuck so far up your politics, you quit thinking about these things clearly. Yeah, it's a disease that's out there. So that's the answer. It's kind of a philosophical economic answer rather than a specific technical one. Can you help me understand if this new tax bill is going to help or harm the middle class? Think I sufficiently described it? It's going to help everyone. Lower taxes always does. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Brought to you by Why Refi. Refinance your defaulted private student loans today at whyrefi.com/Ramsey.
All right. Today's question comes from Melody in Virginia. She says, my husband and I are in our early 40s and got married last year. While we were dating, my husband bought a house for us. I participated in the whole process, and he paid the down payment and the mortgage until we got married. We have joint accounts. All that we make goes there, and we treat all income as ours. We worked together to pay off the debt we brought into the marriage. My husband recently became very ill and agreed to do some estate planning. I asked him to add me to the house, deed, and mortgage, but he wants to just stipulate in his will that the house will be mine if something happens to him. I don't care about the house itself, but while I made sure to put him as a beneficiary for everything that is mine, he has friends and family as beneficiaries for what is his. Am I wrong in feeling off about this whole situation?
Yeah.
I would definitely feel off about this. The truth is, okay, so let's talk about the will thing first, because if you were like, hey, I'm not on the deed and there's no will, that would really be a problem, just looking at it as that. Because I'd say, well, especially since you guys bought this thing before you were married, it could go to probate depending on what state you're in.
Yeah.
And it would take time for it to really iron out and go to you. The other thought is, but there is a will. Then my next thought is like, have you seen the will? Because I want to see it with my eyeballs on it for real.
Yeah.
So, because if not, depending on what your state is, again, there could be an issue there. Then there's the relational side of what's going on here. Like, why doesn't he want that? And I also want to know, well, why are your friends and family on the other assets? Like, what is it? What could it be? A 401k? Anything else? A savings account? Anything else that would have a beneficiary?
That would be in his name exclusively that she couldn't be on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what stands out to me, and I'm going to read a lot into this, but this is just what stands out to me. You're in your 40s. You've only been married for a year. It sounds like there's something previous that's playing into this. Like, maybe there was a previous spouse or a previous relationship and he has trust issues. Something is going on there. I find that when people are later in life in those relationships, there tends to be more walls up.
Yeah, more bad experiences that happen with life. And because of that, people get protective and they want to protect themselves, which in one case is totally understandable. But also, as it plays out in the health of the marriage, it ends up being more detrimental than beneficial. And that's where you guys have to like really get on the same page. So unless, to your point, that he promised his brother that he would help pay for the brother's kids' college. I don't know. It's like there's something there that makes sense to you, but for you not even to understand why, that's a bigger problem to me. You need to know that. Jade, I was stopped by somebody recently out and about, and she was very kind, but she was like, "Can I just ask you a quick question?" I was like, "Sure." But she was saying that her and her husband are working their way out of debt. She has, I think, like maybe, I can't remember the exact word, maybe $20,000 left in her name because they're her student loans.
Okay.
And they were going to go and refinance the house. Well, if they put her name on the deed in the refinance, then they're not going to get as good of a rate because of her credit score and everything. Yeah. And so she was like, we want to refinance, but should we hold off till we're debt free, or could we go ahead and refinance and my name not be on the deed, but I could put it on the deed after I'm, get out of debt. Anyways, it was this whole situation. And I told her, I was like, I mean, yes, you want your name on the deed eventually. And if it's not, it needs to be in the will, like what you're saying. But I think the ownership aspect of both being on the deed is important, but also in a short term, if it doesn't make financial sense, save the money and then put your name later if your name is in the will for it. You know what I mean?
That can make sense. Yeah.
Just in case something happens to him. Because the whole point, again, of sharing assets, yes, is from a tactical standpoint. So we want to be smart about that. But it's also from an ownership perspective and a unity perspective.
And depending on the state, I don't want to get this wrong, but depending on the state, let's say that the house was bought, it was bought pre-marriage, it was bought in his name. Technically, let's say that he passed away and there was debt that she didn't know about it. That house, depending on the state, could be treated as an asset and they could sell the house to pay the debt.
That's right.
So this is important. You know what I mean? It's important, A, to know your state law. B, it's important to make sure that these assets are protected because it's probably the thing that they have that's their biggest asset that has the ability to generate the most money for her if she were to sell it. So this is an important issue.
Why Refi refinances delinquent private student loans for struggling borrowers. Learn more at yrefy.com/Ramsey.